BackEnd Business
My
Podcast, man. Rosco, what's up?
Hey, bro, I'm in a great mood, bro. Episode 17.
We here. Hey,
Bro.
your energy is unmatched.
Let's go.
Right now. I'm quite turned up. But look, though, today we got a special guest, man.
Yep.
She from the city.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? We've been waiting on this episode.
Bro.
So I'm just going here to alley-oop it to my boy Rosco, and he gonna give her that proper introduction that she needs.
Let's go. Look, BackEnd Business episode 17. We got somebody special, somebody that's been grinding for so long, not only in the city, but just as an artist, somebody who I always kept my eyes on just from the side and supporting and seeing the constant consistency and elevation. We talk about creativity. When you talk about music, when you talk about style, when it talks about giving off vibes, I feel like she has everything like that plus more. Yeah. So BackEnd Business episode 17, y'all. Yeah. Welcome to the show, Chelsea Pastel.
What's up?
What's up?
Thank you so much.
Like, what's up with you?
Grand opening.
Yeah, I had to.
Intro.
I say, look, I remember like maybe like I was telling you before the show, like a couple years ago when we had did that one contest and just seeing you, we had to wait in that line and go there and just seeing the consistency and not even knowing like how talented you were, you know, because you didn't give off the vibe, but like everybody else was just doing a lot. We were just in line posted. And I'm like, okay, I like the style, I see what's going on. But then actually studying your stuff after hearing that record I was telling you about, which is what was the first video?
It's called Let Me Live.
Let Me Live. Yeah. Hey, yo, that's still a banger to me, man. I still remember it.
I gotta watch it.
Check it out. And it was like during that time too, you know, everybody wasn't rapping. Yeah. So you really like had the market wasn't as oversaturated. So true. I want to know, let us know who Chelsea Pastel is, you know, like let our audience know who that is.
Yeah, what's up? My name is Chelsea Pastel, and I'm pretty much a colorful character, an enigma, I guess you could say, a nerdy girl that raps, with my own swag, you know what I mean? I haven't really changed much since ever, but I'm pretty much an everyday girl next door, I guess you want to put it like that, who just enjoys rapping, making music. Pretty nerdy about it, but
shout out to my nerd. I don't care. Hey, look,
shout out to my nerds.
Yeah,
for sure. That's who I do it for the most. So, that's pretty much me. You know, I'm just here to bring the authentic vibes and to make everybody feel like they could be themselves.
That's special, 100%. Man. So, Spook, what you gotta say, man? Like, cause that right there, man. I see what I'm saying? Cause I'm gonna get too excited. Y'all take over the show. It's not about me.
I just want to say,
go ahead, Spook.
I wasn't hip to her like how you was. I got hip to her through she did a video on her IG on the Missy Elliott beat.
Oh yeah.
That's how I got hip. Then from there, I'm like, we was doing our podcast, so I'm like, man, we gotta potentially get her on there.
Yep.
So when you did that, where did that come from? What made you get to the Missy Elliott vibe though? Cause Missy, she the queen. So
good question.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite artists to breathe. So that was interesting. I originally posted that on SoundCloud a long time ago.
SoundCloud.
I really, back in that time, I made a lot of beats, but there were times where I just wanted to rap, and I didn't feel like making a beat to rap over. So I would just to keep my skill set sharp, I would just find random beats to just rap over. And I liked that one a lot.
That's
and
a
I'm
classic.
like, yo, I wanna rap over this beat, but I'm not gonna listen to the song for a minute when I do it.
So you don't get that same
so I didn't want to make it sound at all like the original song. I just wanted to rap over it like a beat that just was given to me and I never heard it before.
Right.
So one day.
But then you do it twice though?
No, I did it on SoundCloud, and then I just did it an actual live version when I actually had more people watching me.
Right.
You know, because I was just doing freestyles on my IG, and it was her birthday. So I was like, oh man, and I named it Freestyle Pasteliot Freestyle.
Hey,
so like,
that's
that
hard.
whole video, the whole vibe that you gave off from that was hard. That's what made me start really paying attention.
Got you. Yeah, we just so like my boyfriend shot it. I'm like,
shout out to bro.
Yeah, shout out to him. He got a little phone stabilizer.
Hey, shout out to the real ones that's holding it down. Support system, man.
Oh man, he's definitely like my ultimate support system. Like on those days where I'm like overthinking it, cause I tend to overthink a lot. You know what I mean? But he's always like, get out of your head. You dope. Just do it. So like he's always on my case in a great way. But we just threw that together at the crib.
That's hard.
So how did you get into music though? Like, cause just even talk about Missy Elliott and things like that and like stuff. Like, where did you get your start? Like, How did you get into music?
It goes pretty deep. So, I mean, it started as a kid. My mom, she's always been like, I feel like she was the me before me for real, without rap though.
I understand.
She was more so into instrumental music, but she had like this crazy music collection.
Okay.
You remember back in the day when we had like the sound systems where it was like stacked, like three towers stacked.
Yeah.
And she had like, you remember the CD cases where it was like a tower, where it was a slot for
It was so legendary.
She had this crazy one where it was like 4 different sides to it, and it was stacked. So like, I was always fascinated by what I learned later, equalizers on there.
Yeah.
So I used to just put CDs in and just play with it all day. Random CDs, any CDs. And then it just got to a point where I started having my favorites. And then, you know, like I grew up, I have siblings. On my dad, we have the same dad, but I was the only child in my mom's house. So I was just around pretty much all the older folks.
Gotcha.
And they played a lot of old school rap. So like I really gravitated towards the beats, and I would just try to rap over the beats. And then later on, when I got a little bit older and I was going to this little private school, I hated the school. It was so strict. And my cousins started going to School of the Arts, Cleveland School of the Arts. And I'm like, man, it looked like they having a ball over there. I want to go there. So my mom's like, all right, what you gonna do? Now, mind you, like growing up, she always bought me interactive toys. So she always bought me a keyboard. Like even from the little kid keyboards up until like I was getting older, she always bought me keyboards. So I did kind of teach myself how to play piano to a degree. The only song she taught me how to play was the Peanuts, the Charlie Brown thing.
Oh yeah,
she showed me how to play that. But I started like trying to remake the beats on there. Like any beat that was out, like new, old, I would try to remake it. So like my stepdad used to be like, Chelsea, come down to play that Dr. Dre. And I'd be trying to like play it and whatnot. So like when I got to the point where I wanted to audition to the School of the Arts, she had the saxophone at the house that she never touched. So I'm like, yo, Mom, like teach me how to play the saxophone.
Picked it up.
She gave me, we went to the music store. She got me a new mouthpiece, got it clean, got me some new reeds. You need, it's a woodwind, so you need a piece of wood to blow the horn. So she got me everything. In our school we had recorders. Everybody had the recorder.
The plastic joint.
Yeah, everybody had
okay.
But the thing was, that's what taught me how to read music. And it's different. Like you had treble clef, bass clef. It's still in treble clef, so it's in the fingering was similar. So like if you could play the recorder, it was pretty similar to playing the sax. So I picked it up in 2 weeks and auditioned. And I got through, you know, I made my audition. We had to test into the school. And pretty much from there, I was like all the way put into music because you had to audition and because our school at the time had such a reputation, they were pretty, you know, strict on us. And then my school, it was from 6th to 12th grade. So, you know, my program, like all of the programs, they were called majors, kind of like in college, but you know, if you danced, you were a dance major. If you did graphic art, you were an art major. If you sing, you were a choir major. So I was a band major, and all my friends, they start switching their majors. So I started getting curious, like I want to try different things. My mom like, no, you got to stay in band. So like it got to the point where the band camp programs started coming. So like every summer she assigned me up for band camps. She assigned me up. Like I never was not in a music program. So like I was always
in it. Program.
Yeah,
really
like
born in it.
I was in the Baldwin Wallace music program. Shout out to Tri-C. I was in their music program forever.
Yeah,
they had like a summer jazz camp.
Yeah, that's so dope.
And they would make you. It used to bore me so bad because like it was to a point where I never wanted to hear jazz again. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I didn't want to hear. I didn't want to hear nothing about John Coltrane. I didn't want to hear nothing about no Miles Davis. I didn't want to hear none of them names for years though. Until I got older and I started appreciating it different. But because I was at that age where I was like, I don't want to make this type of music. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was the best thing that could have happened to me because it taught me music theory, and it taught me how to improvise. Like improv on an instrument is freestyling with an instrument. You know what I mean? They'll give you a scale. You know, you have different scales and key ranges that you need to stay in, and you just got to play. You can play anything within the ranges. So over that time, I probably learned how to play about 6-7 different instruments. Because since I was in the band program so long, I'm like, all right, well, I might as well just keep learning how to play. So I started teaching myself
all the instruments.
how to play trombone. I learned how to play tuba. I learned how to play bass trombone. I learned how to play drums for a stick. And then eventually I started making beats.
I was just about to lead into that. So not only did you rap, you was born into the, literally like, it's safe to say you was born into the music for real.
It was in you.
Yeah, for
it
the
was
most
just
part.
from the jump. And you played all the instruments, started producing. How did, like, that just led to producing? Like,
Well,
I need to.
pretty much. So like when I really started getting into the production, I told you I was playing a bunch of keyboards.
Yeah.
And I was trying to learn how to make the beats with the keyboard. I didn't know that you could use Fruity Loops.
I was about to say.
I didn't know nothing about the software at the time. So like at that time, I'm like, I just want to make these beats. So like y'all literally had tape recorders, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know if y'all remember, but back with Windows, back in the day, it had like a
record
Windows
on there.
recorder.
Yeah.
So like I
with the little
literally,
mic.
Legend.
so like I used to
I
like take the mic, I play the same thing out for 2 minutes, right? Then you could add another layer to it.
Yep.
And I just kept,
Another
that's how I was
2 minutes.
making beats. But I didn't know like it was software until I got into about like 9th grade. I want to say that's when Soulja Boy came out.
Yep.
And they said he was making these beats with Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops.
So I talked to my stepdad. I'm like, yo, man, like you gotta give me Fruity Loops. Like I need the Fruity
I don't
Loops.
know what
So
it is, but I know
Yeah,
you gotta
so,
get
like,
Fruity Loops.
they got me a laptop, and I had got Fruity Loops, and I was jigging off that. And we was trying to record songs, like me and my friends. We had these little ratchet songs, like they're crazy.
Like
They
early records.
Now with the way music ended up going with SoundCloud, we probably would have been straight if we like just
Yeah,
uploaded
put
this
it
stuff.
up there, yeah.
But yeah, we used to make our little songs with Adobe Audition and Fruity
Adobe
Loops.
Audition.
And eventually, like over time, I was producing horribly wrong though. I didn't know it. You know, I thought I was doing it.
It wasn't a formula. You was just going off straight.
Yeah, like I didn't know
generation.
about simple stuff. Like I didn't know about looping yet. I didn't know about little stuff. I didn't know about quantizing the beats to make everything line up on beat.
Yep.
I didn't know about stuff like that. So like a lot of my beats were just like all over the place. And then when I graduated high school, I ended up saving up. This summer I was in this music program, but they paid us. And I ain't spent a check. Like I literally like was so cheap. I ate ramen noodles all summer.
The real grind.
I ate ramen
Stuck in the
noodles
grind
and egg
Stuck in the
rolls.
grind.
It was this little Chinese spot. They had egg rolls for like $1. So I just could pack a cup noodles and egg rolls. That was my lunch. And then at the end of the summer, I ended up, it's crazy too, because I was going to get like the little white MacBook. You remember the plastic ones?
Yeah,
The
that was
summer-
legend of
yeah,
the
them
first
the old,
edition.
yeah.
Yeah, like the old one, but somehow, like we had these pay cards. And I just happened to check it, and it was like another like $500 on there.
Did they match y'all or something like for the program? Or?
No, like so it was just like this internship,
Okay.
and it was for you had to be like a junior or senior in high school. But all I did, it was band practice that I got paid for, basically. So like I don't even know if they exist anymore, but shout out to them.
Right.
But I ended up buying the MacBook Pro, and at the time though, you couldn't put Fruity Loops on the MacBook, so I had to learn another program, and then
What was that program?
It's called Reason.
Okay, I meant to read.
Yeah, so I was using Reason for a few years. And then one of my friends had introduced me to these people that worked at this little studio. It was a real low-key studio.
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, you could, like I was kind of like the unofficial intern, pretty much the fly on the wall that was always allowed to
Always there,
stay
yeah.
around, you know, and they like, well, if you're going to be here, we use Ableton. So I'm like, all right, so I fought it for like a minute. I fought it to the point where like they like, man, give me your computer, and they put it on the computer. So like eventually I had to learn it, and I've been sticking with Ableton ever since. And they taught me how to produce correctly because I didn't know about mixing and just different little things. I didn't know about panning and making room for vocals and just little stuff like that. I was just trying to get the ideas out of my head.
Right.
So like, you know, between that studio and working at a couple other different spaces, I learned exactly, and I'm still learning.
Gotcha.
Don't get me wrong, but like I learned to a degree where I'm like, okay, I can produce correctly now. But I still use Ableton, and I never really turned back to the instrumental route from there. You know, I just kind of got into producing.
Yep.
You
And
knew
then,
what you wanted your music to sound like. Not necessarily
Yeah.
your music, but you wanted.
yeah, like I had
sound.
like a certain level of beats, but it's crazy though because when I was like getting real knee deep into it, like I'm talking about skipping classes just to make beats.
Right.
That's when you in it.
And that's
Right.
what, it got pretty bad. I ain't even gonna lie. Like shout out to Cleveland State for taking me back because I was at Toledo for a second.
Oh, I'm a BG grad. Hold on, I don't got no love for Toledo.
Oh man, you the op.
Hey, right though. So, hold on, but no, a lot of my family. Shout out to my Rocket family though. It's all like I-75 love. But go ahead.
All right, man. Appreciate you. You're Falcon, but you cool. You know?
Respect.
But,
Respect.
Yeah, like it's crazy though, because when I was out there, I ain't really had. It ain't nothing to do out there. Like it ain't nothing to do in Toledo. So like, I would just really make beats. I had a walk-in closet that I made my quote-unquote studio. Like I had got all these milk crates, and I had like these speakers stacked up, and just all this little stuff. So like, but at the time, I didn't realize what was happening. Like I ain't had cable and I had Netflix, and at that time they had all the old Nickelodeon cartoons on Netflix, right?
Yes, they
So
did.
like I was just watching all these like old Rugrats. So by the time I moved back to Cleveland and I met other producer friends, they're like, "Why all your beats sound like cartoons?" And I ain't think nothing of it. I kind of got offended because I'm like, "What you mean my beats sound like cartoons?" But I ain't realized like, oh, you low key started like subconsciously like.
Yeah, that's all you was watching.
Yeah, that's all I was watching.
hearing.
So I started subconsciously like making beats that sound cartoony. But yeah, so here we are. You know.
Wow. Hey, no, I remember them days. And shout out to my people that was in college. What that? Around that time when I was telling people like, I don't have cable. All I got is Netflix. And they was paying money to have cable and everything. I'm like, bro, this Netflix subscription
and Netflix
is all I
was
need.
cheap at the time.
Back then,
Man, bro,
yeah.
all I was watching was
cheap.
Breaking Bad and something else, man, the cartoons. I'm like, bro, this is genius. And now everybody has Netflix.
Yeah,
Back
and now they
then-
got a whole bunch of other stuff now that we didn't even
Yeah.
have. Like Netflix. You remember when Netflix was like, you could rent a DVD?
See what I'm saying?
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Yes.
you could actually rent. Like
Yes,
before
man.
it was like streaming, you could actually like, it was kind of like Redbox.
Correct.
Where you could rent the actual DVDs and send them back.
Oh, I think I
Yeah.
seen the picture would say Netflix on the CD.
Bruh,
Mm-hmm.
Netflix was a game changer. Hey, look, I've been telling people about that for a while, but you know, as things change. But you was talking about having the crates in the walk-in closet and stuff like that around that time. Like, just when you was in college, like, where were you trying to major in? Because I know when I was in college, you can have a major, but you want to do music, so you kind of just stuck in the grind of being a student and then doing music. So like,
So it was pretty tricky. So when I was getting like to the point where I was about to start going to school, when I was applying to school, it was a few music options, but Toledo threw me the most, and I had really good grades.
Okay.
And I was real good in science, specifically chemistry and like
that's
higher
what's
level
up.
math. So
Yeah.
like I ended up going to school for pharmacy at first. And it's crazy because it's like at first it sound good, but then I realized like I think I went into like I don't even think they had CVS's out there. I think I went into like a Rite Aid or something.
Yeah, they probably
and I'm looking at the pharmacists deal with the people like on the customer service
you
level
couldn't see
almost.
yourself
And I'm
doing
like, bruh, I cannot do this.
do
Like
it
I don't want to be a pharmacist. Like that is stressful. That looks crazy. So I ended up going into IT for a second.
Okay.
And the IT program in Toledo was in the college. You know, you got colleges for
Correct.
each
Yeah,
major.
yeah. Yep.
It was in the College of Engineering. So I decided I wanted to move back to Cleveland, but their IT program is in the College of Business. So I had all these credits all over the place that was just like, I had enough credits to graduate,
Yeah.
but they
But it
weren't in a
wasn't
specific college.
Yeah, that's important.
So I ended up like low key like, yo, make me a degree that work.
Yeah.
Right.
So now I have a degree in organizational management,
From
but
where?
like for Cleveland State.
Hey, hold on. Let's clap it up for that, man. Hold on.
Thank you.
Shout out to us college degree
you.
holders. I don't care. That's a big deal, and that you finished and got that done. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people not doing that. So you know, they hear rappers, they don't be like, oh. It's very rare to hear a rapper that's a college graduated as well.
I'm not gonna lie, like I fought it for a long time. You know, I went through it with Cleveland State. Like I was working in the studio at that time when I first went out transferred there.
Yep.
So like I literally would leave there at like 8 o'clock, no sleep yet from working all day, and then had class at 8:30. So I was useless by the time I got to school, and I literally like flunked out. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like my grades went all the way down, and it wasn't that I wasn't smart. Like I was on academic scholarship, but it was just balancing my life. And then I had a few other things just in my life that was just going like everything was just going crazy.
I understand.
So I took a break. I took a long break, and then I tried to do it again. I think I ended up going to Tri-C for like a few semesters, like just trying to do it cheaper because I lost all my financial aid.
Yeah.
Like so it was
Financial
crazy.
aid.
And then it got to a point where a few things happened. So like I started working this job at a credit union, And the girls there was like doing their homework, like in between customers, and I'm like, I want to do homework.
Right.
You know what I
the
mean?
nerd, the inner nerd is coming out. Like,
Yeah,
man,
like I just felt like, I'm like, yo, man, this is a great way to kill time.
Yeah.
So I had started inquiring about going back. I had to go through a process. You know, I had to basically petition back into school because I had, like I said, I lost all my financial aid. So I had to petition back. Then they put me on academic probation. Had to get out of academic probation and get back into good academic standing. And then by the time the pandemic hit, it was like, I ain't had nothing else to do. You know what I mean? Other than, like I literally had no excuse, so I just finished it and graduated during the pandemic.
Hey, hold on. Now that's another clap it up, man. Because a lot was going on in the pandemic, but the fact that you got that done through there too, that's dope. I know you had no question, Spook, but I want to make sure.
So what point made you be like, well, this music is going to be it for me? Like, this is what I'm about to do.
I'll be honest, it's always kind of been like that. Like even when I was flunking out and doing all of that, like the day that I really had it was the first time I went to a studio.
What studio was that?
It was this little, like, it was an in-home studio, but it was cold. It was in Lyndhurst.
Okay.
I don't know the name of it.
No, cool.
The guy, his name is Jim Agripe, I think is his name. But and I haven't seen this guy in like 10 years now.
If you see this, bro, man, make sure you
definitely shout out to Jim Agripe because I'm not gonna lie, he set me up for like greatness that night. So my friend who knew that I was just kind of like getting into making beats like to a certain degree, he like, yeah, come to the studio. It was winter break. I come through. This dude gives me Reason. He gives me like 3,000 drum kits.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? He gave me like all these plugins. So like that night, and I think I had like 2 Red Bulls. And that night I was just like wired. Like I think I stayed up, no lie off, for like 30 hours. Like I was just like,
Red Bulls will do that to you for sure.
And I remember my mom calling me like, where are you at? And I'm like, yo, listen, I want to make music, da-da-da-da. And we got into it because she's like, what, you about to drop out of school? And I'm like, I don't know about all that, but I just know I want to do this. But I remember, I never forget that day. Like I just got this like rush about it. And then like, you know, like from then, like even with the ups and downs or whatever, like I kind of still knew I wanted to do it, you know, and now it's just getting more to a point where I'm actually starting to see results from it. I've seen little small inklings of results before, but now it's like, okay, you know?
Yeah, that's hard.
Man, so like when it comes to like, cause I know I want to ask you this too, like the studio, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's your favorite studio memory? You know, I know you kind of just gave us one, but like, what's that time you was in the studio when you finished a record and you was like, this can be the one? Like, you felt that. I know everybody be like, I feel that about all my records, but like, as an artist, like, what was that record where you was like, okay, no, I'm doing music. I know I'm good at it. I'm great. This is the one.
I ain't gonna cap. It was that Let Me Live record. But the way that went down was I used to just work at that studio. I wasn't there for like recording or anything. I was there recording other people. And I never told anybody that I was recording music. I would do all these sessions for everybody else.
As an engineer?
Yeah, I was just recording sessions for people. And then that's why I was like messing up, because like at the end of the night, so like my night might end at 2 a.m. I would like record myself after everybody left. So like I just remember I made the song. My friend who produced the song, his name is Baca. Me and him was like pretty pumped about it, but I still ain't let nobody I worked with here at the studio. And the studio was the hangout. Like everybody used to kick it there. So like I remember one time I think somebody was playing music, iTunes just like playing random songs, and the song come on. Everybody like, yo, who is this? And I kind of start blushing. I'm like, it's me. They're like, stop lying. I'm like, no, it's really me. And everybody was just like, yo, man, that's crazy. Like, dude, what? So like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was kind of like one of those moments where I was like, oh man, I got something. I think I got something. You know what I'm saying? So like that kind of took me out of my shell too, because like I hid me as the rapper. I tell anybody, yeah, I make beats, you know what I'm saying? But at the time, like, I wasn't like, yeah, I rap too.
Also
like,
Kanye.
Like, yeah, I was pretty quiet about me rapping, but my friend, like, I've rapped forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, my friends, to this day, like, at my shows, if I hear somebody in the crowd be like, yo, C Money, that's like my 6th grade rap name.
Okay.
So I know my friends are there. Like, I know, like, it's either friends or like super close family in the building if I start hearing people saying that.
Money,
like,
though. That's dope.
Yeah, but yeah, I always rap, but I never like made it a thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's shocking when people who know me, like certain people who know me, and they're like, yo, you rap? Because I don't, I guess, act like a rapper, but like, You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but that was the moment though. Like when everybody kind of reacted to the song a certain way. It was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna put this on SoundCloud.
Yeah. Shout out to them that was there, man, because that's still like one of my favorite records. And like, how was the idea? I know you was telling us off record, like on the video idea, you know, with the video concept, like how did that come about? Cause
which one we talking about? Jeeps.
My
first
video.
Your first. I like Jeeps though.
Yeah, Jeeps is really dope.
Yeah, I like Jeeps.
But my first little video, man, that thing is that's a dinosaur now. But a fossil, I guess.
Man,
but back then, I wanted to show my daily, like my little day-to-day life, like. You know, I was kind of preppy. I still am kind of preppy to a certain degree, but and I just kind of wanted to just be myself as possible. So I showed myself waking up. It actually starts with me having a bad dream because like I had made this. I told my friends to call me and just leave me crazy voicemails, and then I took actual voicemails that I had, and I just kind of like I had this little beat playing. And I like meshed it together and made it sound like just like craziness was happening. You know what I'm saying? And like. It kind of starts off me with like, and then I wake up with my alarm clock. So I kind of wanted to just start off like a day in my life where, you know, I wake up, I'm going to work, but then it kind of like keep going back and forth between what I really want and what I'm doing now. So like it goes between me getting ready with my work clothes on to me putting on something better, to me hopping in my car, to me hopping in a Land Rover. Like to me, it just kept switching. You know what I'm saying?
I remember
because that's what I'm saying. That's what the song's about. I'm talking about working a 9 to 5. I'm talking about how I want to do things for my family. I want to make a certain life, but you know, I'm kind of living the real life that I gotta live right now. That's what it's about. So like, you know, that's what that video pretty much was. Just
and it's timeless too, because think about how many of us right now, even shout out to our artists out there, that is stuck in the middle where you're working a job to get money to pay for the music, or you, or my corporate people that I know that work in jobs, but you stuck in corporate and you never got a chance to chase your dream or escape. So
yeah, definitely,
that's dope.
Man. Definitely.
Go ahead, Spook. I know if you had no question.
I was gonna ask you, would you like doing better, like performing the music or making it?
I like. One? It's crazy. So I really like making the music, but performing is starting to get funner. At first, it was terrifying. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like,
get out that shell a little bit.
Yeah, just cause like I told y'all I was in band, but band like you got a whole group of people. You up there with 20 other people. Like you ain't gotta like.
By yourself.
You ain't up there by yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in a rap group or nothing. So it's like. And like when I first started doing shows, they all booked up, but I never performed a single song in my life. So it was like, snap, like I gotta figure this out. So like it was terrifying, but now it's like the people, when you in person, the people like reacting to your music a certain way, and you like actually like look people in the eye and they vibing out and you vibing out with it. Like that's energy. Like a different type of energy. That's like a different type of fun. You know what I'm saying? So. Right now, it's getting to the point where I am really enjoying performing it, but I still do like making it a lot, because making it, that's when I can get into like the actual nitty gritty of it, you know, just like I hear a lot of sounds in my head that, you know, like if I'm busy throughout the day, I might not be able to just do right away. So like making it, I feel like I'm in my more true inner self.
That makes sense.
So I don't know, like
that's
a hard one for me.
Yeah, no, that's understandable though. You in there, you by yourself, you making the music, you get to create.
Yeah.
Then when you perform it, you just expressing, putting it in action.
Exactly.
I get it though.
Yeah, and I can just vision that, seeing how I be, because when you creating a song, you already, when you go perform it anyway, you already thinking about how the crowd gonna react to it.
Yeah.
Like certain things you gonna say, or certain like how you be chopping your beats up and stuff like that. Certain parts, you know, gonna get a crowd to say ooh and ah.
Yeah. So, if you drop out certain parts of the bar could breathe. If you, you know. But the thing is though, also is like, you know, as an artist, we over scrutinize our music. We over scrutinize any creative. You know what I mean? Whether you design clothes, whether you paint, whether you design, video, like anything, we over scrutinize our work. So when you're performing and the people are just enjoying it, and it's despite you overthinking it, it's despite all the little nitpicking that you do to your own artwork, you know, that's different. And that's like a whole different vibe, because it's like, oh man, they rocking with it. Like,
we are biggest critics though when it don't even be that.
It don't even be that deep half of the time, you know, but you know, at the time when you're making it, you just want to make the best stuff, and you want to make it sound as good as possible. You want to, you know, you overthink it sometimes, but you know, that's that raw moment where it's just being enjoyed and you both are just enjoying it. So
that's dope. Shout out to my artists out there, man. If y'all that we holding stuff in the vault and we just in our own heads and we got them records that we feel like the ones, but the ones that we don't feel like the ones be the ones. Let the audience decide that. Just let them go, you know what I'm saying, strategically, but artists get out our own way, man, because as you can see, you never really know which one to be the one. But speaking on performances, is there any like rituals or anything you do but like before a performance to kind of get you pumped up? Not even like a ritual, but like, is there any specific thing or you just kind of like just get up there?
So right now, the only thing I do is I pretty much get up there. Like I might have a couple drinks.
Respect.
To shake off the nerves, you know what I mean? And I definitely drink water, and it's these little throat drops.
Got a nice lozenge.
They're called like Vocalize or something, but these little throat drops, they got like this cooling effect.
Nice.
I might have that, and I don't like to talk a lot before the show, like before my set. Like I'll talk a little bit, but I do not want to get into like crazy conversation before my set, just because, not even just to save my voice, but the way my anxiety is set up, I just got to keep my brain on one track.
Respect.
Yeah. So, you know, I'll have a couple drinks and get in a good mood and then get up there. But I don't have like a whole specific, you know, like I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to have this, that. Like I don't. I just, you know, just give me whatever I need as far as a couple drinks, some water, my little throat drops, a little throat spray or whatever, loosen up a little bit, and then I just go up there.
What's up, man?
I just wanna fast forward to now. You dropped your debut album.
Okay.
PASTELEVISION. I said it right?
PASTELEVISION. Yeah, that's how it's pronounced.
PASTELEVISION.
Make sure y'all go get that.
Right.
Yeah,
What is it
definitely.
on
Right now it's on Bandcamp.
Okay.
And then it'll come out later, you know, on a streaming.
Gotcha.
But right now we're starting it on Bandcamp where you can buy it.
Respect.
And
If
it
you
come with
want it.
merch and
Yeah, so you can get
stuff.
merchandise. If you buy any of the merch, it automatically comes with the album. The album itself, though, if you just buy that, it comes with some wallpapers for your phone that kind of reflect the merch and reflect just the whole theme of what we have. We got about 4 different wallpapers.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's hard. I want to, speaking of the album, I looked at the track list, and during the post that you had posted up, you said the features with Crazy Bone.
Yeah, it's the only feature.
Whoa,
that's the
diamonds.
only
Hold on. We not going to just let that go over your heads,
Crazy
though.
Bone. That's what
Crazy
I'm saying,
Bone.
though. And I forgot, too, that you was in the newspaper, too. I just thought about that, too. But I want to talk about the Crazy Bone feature. How did that come about? Because that's, you know, that's the Cleveland legend. How did that come about?
It's pretty crazy, so no pun intended. But I met
that's great.
I met Crazy Bone a year prior at a music studio. They were, Bone Thugs and Harmony were trying to make some new music. I don't know if it was supposed to be like a project or something like that.
Got you.
But my old manager at the time had told me, yo, they need some beats. So I had made all these different beats. They liked them. They told me to pull up to this studio. But it ended up being like 1 million people in this studio. Like, I don't know what was going on. The music didn't even get made. It was like so many people. Yeah. And my anxiety, I'm like, yo, I gotta get out of here. I gotta like step outside. And Crazy, it looked like he might have had the same moment because like he ended up going outside too. So me and him kind of met each other at that same area and we ended up talking. And we had talked for about 20, 30 minutes. And I ended up getting his number and exchanging information with him. So fast forward from then, that was like a couple years ago. So fast forward from then, I'm making the song. It's called East Side. So I'm working on the song. And my mom hears it and she's like, yo, this is a Bone song. This is a Bone song. Like, you need to like get them on here.
Right.
So I'm like, the only Bone I know is Crazy Bone. So I'll hit him up and see. And I was scared to hit him up for a while. Like, my boyfriend like, dude, you have his number. Hit him up.
For real.
Right.
So, and I don't know. I'm like real bad with that type of stuff. So I hit him up and I'm like, yo, I got this song. You know, first I asked how he's doing. And I hit him up.
Right.
You know, I tapped in with him and then I hit him up and I told him I had this song that I think he'd sound good on. And let me know whatever he needs or whatever he wants and if he likes it even.
Right.
And let me know. So I send him the record and he's like, okay, bet. And then he just sends it back.
Right back?
Whoa.
Like,
Same
it was
day?
like, it wasn't the same day. It was like quick though. It was like, it was within a week, but he sends it back. And I'm just like, wait, what?
Right. What was your reaction to I want to say, I want to know the reaction when you got it to you heard it.
When I got it, I'm like, I was with my boyfriend and I'm like, yo, he sent it back. So I'm like, yo, no, we gotta really listen to this.
Right.
Like, stop what we doing.
Right.
Let's get the speakers. Let's listen to this.
Full experience.
So we listened to it and we not only did he send me a verse, he sent me a verse. He sent me a verse really encapsulating the song though. So and he's like, yeah, little sis, I got you. This song, I really like it. You know what I mean? Whatever you need. And I was just dang,
that's
that
hard.
was crazy. And it was I didn't think it'd be that simple.
Yeah.
But it was pretty much that simple.
Yeah.
He sent it back. He enjoyed
shout out
it.
To Crazy Bone.
Man, shout out to Crazy Bone.
Man, the whole Bone Thugs and Harmony, man.
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah, shout out to them because that was one of my bigger inspirations coming up, and Crazy Bone's flow in particular, I really looked up. I really inspired. I was inspired by it. Mm-hmm. So for him to do that and just give me some real good gems, words of encouragement, I'm just man, this is crazy. This is really insane. Mm-hmm. And it kind of made me, it put a battery in my back to all right, you just got the ultimate blessing right here.
Real.
You know, so you definitely got to turn up. And I really wanted to talk about that, but I'm I'm not telling nobody about that until it comes out. So I had to be quiet about it for a year because we made it during the that was during the pandemic, I think.
You was just holding on to it.
Yeah, that was 2020, but I'm I'm not saying nothing about that. You know, so I didn't tell nobody. I didn't tell a lot of people around me, nobody. I just waited, and then we put it out with the project.
That's crazy. So I guess we got an exclusive with something on here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. I'm about to say, hold on now, because that's major though.
Yeah, it's if you buy the album, you're gonna hear it. You know, it's a little clip of it on my song. It doesn't have his verse on the clip, but it's for sale right now, so if you want to hear it, you can get it. The link is in my bio at Chelsea Pastel, so you can get it. But yeah, that was pretty nuts.
Major.
How important is ownership? Because somebody like me that's real big on that and stuff like that, and how you even having a layout, doing it where you can your fans and supporters can buy it literally first. Where we're living in a digital streaming era where everybody, you only get $5 per 1,000 streams when you could just say, y'all really support me, buy this thing. How important is ownership to you in rolling it out like this?
It's extremely important. For one, with ownership, you get to kind of move totally different. You don't have anybody pretty much controlling everything. Yep. You do want to move in an order. You do want to move in a sense of how a label signed major artists will move. Yep. Right. But at the same time, if you don't have a label behind you, you know, a lot of independent artists, we invest a lot of money that we don't recoup. So you got to treat yourself like a label and do things to recoup your money back. Yep. Right. So ownership is a really good way to recoup your money back, especially with this method that I'm doing. You know, I only had it out for a day, but I've made more in that day than I would have made off of 20K streams. Right. You get what I'm saying? That's just off of selling it to a few people.
Pre-sales,
you know, pre-sales. So it's very important. And then, you know, once it comes down to breaking down percentages and whatnot, it's very important to own. And especially right now, I've gotten into sync, which, you know, that for those who don't know, sync is getting your songs placed on television.
Talk to them.
With that being said,
I ain't even know.
Yeah,
that's
big.
sync.
It's a
so
big deal.
This comes out Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the next day from then, I have a song that's on Love and Hip Hop. You know what I mean? Because of ownership.
What's up?
Because of ownership, me and my friend Baca, who co-produced the track, we don't have to pay anybody else but ourselves for the record.
Baca Beats. Shout out to him too.
Me and Baca Beats. Big shout out to Baca Beats. That's my bro. We got publishing and we got, you know, the actual master for it.
Nice.
So not only do you get an actual sync fee up front, you're gonna get the continuous residuals from the royalty. You know, so it's really important, especially, and sync is a great place for independent artists because you get your money like that, and it puts your record out on a mass platform.
Very true.
You know, especially like a Love and Hip Hop, where they give you a card that's gonna have your name of your song, your face, or your picture of your album, where to get it. You know, they playlist you. You know what I mean? So it really does matter. So, and if you don't have ownership of your song, you're only gonna get a percentage of that. You know, so that as an independent artist, I can reinvest that into what I'm doing right now,
Right.
which is what I've been doing. Like I would say I've been actually making money from music right now, but I have to keep reinvesting it into different things, into different projects, and to making sure we got videos and just different content. But yeah, like, it does matter. It's really important.
Ah, man, I'm over here fanned out right now. No, because I'm big on that, and I tell my artists too, y'all, like, e-commerce, get a digital store, like roll your tracks out, like you can set it up and bundle it as a package, like market yourself right. Don't just put out a record and then shoot a video and think you about to explode. Like really market and brand yourself. So just hearing how she broke it down and y'all can see, and that sync stuff is so real. Look up the mechanical royalties, like look up your stuff, make sure your publishing and your LLC, all that stuff is together, because that is very important. So
and performance rights organizations, make sure that you're with either BMI or ASCAP, because that's who collect your royalties for those situations.
Yeah, just give them that advice. That was gonna be my next.
Any advice for artists?
Give them advice that's coming up that might be going through a situation, don't know how to move to do that.
Oh yeah, well, one main thing that I have is, like I said, the sync. Try to get your stuff placed with music supervisors. Hit up music supervisors for shows that you think your music would be good with. That's kind of how I started, you know, with that. I hit up a music supervisor who I knew was a music supervisor, showed him what I had coming out. He's like, yo, all right, well, I like the way this sound. Do you have any other stuff that might fit? And they send you a brief with like the scenes and everything.
Very true.
And you know, you could create like that. Another thing is using a platform like Bandcamp. You know, where you could sell your music. They have their own platform to where you could get featured, highlighted. They have a thing called Bandcamp Fridays where, you know, you get the complete, you get all of your money, because they do take a small fee, but you get all of your money. You know, you want to make sure that you have everything with your PRO, performance rights organizations, that's your BMI, ASCAP. You want to hit up all the DJs in your city, make sure that everybody has the record. Always make clean versions of your songs. Always make show versions of your tracks, so that way when people perform, when you perform live, people can actually hear you perform. You're not yelling over your records. I'm trying to think what else. Definitely.
Yeah, come on.
Put money in your promotion. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing to go on. Like, you can promote on Instagram if you use Facebook Business Manager, Ad Manager. You can run ads. You can run Google ads for your YouTube. You know, and just know where your audience lies. That's another big important thing. You know, don't have your music on Jack Harlow's coming up before a Jack Harlow video where it sounds like it should be with Tame Impala. It doesn't make sense. So you need to know your audience. You know what I mean? And yeah, just basically set yourself up. You know, if you don't have no following, if you don't have a label behind you, you're pretty much, it all falls on you. You can't blame anybody else. So you got to take your career into your own hands, and then don't worry about getting managers and all that stuff until you have something to manage. That's where a lot of people make mistakes.
Say that again?
Don't get a manager or worry about any of that until you have something to manage. Or else you're going to get caught up in the wrong stuff that really isn't like the actual artistry. You know, as an early artist and as getting into the game, you want to bring people to your sound, to your talent. So your main focus is to make the content and draw the audience in. And then at that point, the right team, the right managers, the right people will start facilitating themselves into your life. So, you know, just really stay focused. That's the main thing. Don't get caught up in the Instagram and with these, don't compare yourself to the signed artist and these people who are doing things where you got a whole Wizard of Oz in the background that you can't see. You know?
Y'all better be picking up what she putting down.
Yeah, man, it's a lot that goes into it on the back end. Like, my last couple of weeks, my last month for real has been doing back end stuff. It hasn't been actually making the music. It's been making sure that the music is ready to come out. And that's a lot of work. You know, thank God I have finally gotten a manager that makes sense for me, that I actually want. Like, the perfect manager popped up for me. The perfect people started popping up for me. So
once that work was getting put in.
But I had to do the groundwork, you know what I mean? Like all the paper and all of that stuff, I had to like draw that attention myself. And then everything else started kind of making sense. And then, you know.
Jeez, look, y'all. Look, BackEnd Business episode 17 has been something so powerful. Look, tell them where we can find you. You know, tell them about the album, the listening parties as we wrap up. Just let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me at Chelsea Pastel. CHELSEAPASTEL. You can find me on anything with that handle. PASTELEVISION is out for sale. Stay tuned. It'll come to a streaming platform near you. We do have a release party on October 2nd at Concession Stand on Larchmere. We're going to celebrate the release of the album when it officially drops. We got merch. We got a lot of good things coming up, so just stay tuned. We got some videos coming out, and we plan to really flood the streets. Okay. So just stay tuned.
Streets of Cleveland, because she from the city and
Spook,
holding it down.
Whoa, this was legendary, wasn't it?
No, this is one of the best ones. Season 2 already.
Yeah, y'all. Season 2, episode 17, BackEnd Business. I'm your host, Rosco, No.E.
ATM Spook.
Hey, look, and we had Chelsea Pastel on with us, man. We'll see y'all on the next episode.
Yeah.